There we go. Small one. On that drop shot rig, first cast on it. I'm actually throwing now a drop shot rig. It's a pretty heavy weight for pond fishing, a 3/8 ounce weight. And I've got a Strike King shimmy stick. It's one of those like Senko style type worms. The Strike King shimmy stick actually looks a lot like the Senko, just a little cheaper. Small bass. Let me show you what I'm actually using here. You can see here I've got my Strike King shimmy stick. I got it rigged wacky style. I'm actually not using an O-ring. Normally I use O-rings, I just didn't bring them today. They're in my other box. And I've got this with a drop shot weight. You can see here below the worm. And this drop shot weight is going to help me fish a little deeper water. I fished earlier this morning. I was throwing just along the shorelines with a fluke, or super fluke, and I caught 4 decent bass, 4 nice bass for a pond. But sun's up a little higher. It's about an hour and a half later. It seems like the shallow water bite is over. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper here with this drop shot rig, fish more the center of the pond, try to fish the deeper water. This rig works really well, especially if the pond's not all weeded up. And the reason why I like to use a heavier weight, one, I can cast a little bit further. Two, if I want to just shake that worm or just lift that shimmy stick off the bottom, I can just kind of shake my rod tip, lift up a little bit. The weight will hold the worm in the same spot, and I can get that worm to lift and then fall down, have that more like that natural fall that you would have if you fished it weightless. Now it's only going to fall about 12 inches because I've got the hook about 12 inches above the weight, but a lot of times that natural fall is where you'll get the hit. And sometimes I'm just going to shake it too. Working along, shake, shake, shake. By hooking it wacky rig style, you're going to have some really good action with this shimmy stick. Oh, one hit, one fouled it right in, right there. Come on, buddy, come back for it. There we go. Feels pretty good. Oh, nice bass. Nice bass. Oh, thought it was a little bigger when he jumped. Oh, the shoreline is full of all kinds of muck. This water's real low in the pond right now. Here you go, buddy. Thought he was bigger at first. Take a closer look. Solid bass on that Strike King shimmy stick, and that one hit quite a ways out there. A lot of the ponds are kind of difficult. Well, it depends on the pond you fish, but a lot of the ponds near my house are kind of difficult to fish in the deeper water because there's so many weeds around the pond. During the fall, it's a good time to try this technique out. Late spring, not a bad time to try this technique out also, when there isn't as much weed growth. I do have some ponds near my house that it's a lot of rocks and there's like no weed growth in the pond. And this would be a great technique for that pond. This pond, usually it's weeded up pretty good in the summertime, but in the fall it's just a great time when these weeds die down a little bit. It's a great time to actually target some of these deeper water bass. A lot of times mornings and evenings there's going to be a lot of bass that come along the shallows in ponds to feed. And usually during the middle of the day, unless it's the springtime when water's warming up, bass are cruising the shallows. But once you get into summer or fall, oh, there's another one. Nice. Feels pretty good. Feels really good. Just staying down. Another good bass. Come here, buddy. Stay out of that muck. Once you get into the summer and fall months, middle of the day, the best fishing, the bigger bass are usually out deeper. Usually the majority of bass are out deeper too. That's from my experience fishing ponds. Every pond's different. get you a better look here. But from my experience, a lot of times, middle of the day, these bass are still catchable in the ponds. You just got to target them a little deeper. And with this drop shot rig technique with the heavier weight, Strike King shimmy stick or any Senko style worm, these bigger profile worms, they'll get bit. It's like it's even though it's a heavier weight, it's still a finesse presentation. I'm not working in real fast. A lot of times I'm just twitching it and holding it and waiting for that bite. Another one. Jeez. They are just hammering this worm. Just hammering it. Oh. Another good one. Biggest one so far of the day. And it's not really a tough technique. I mean, I love to drop shot fish. Just doing it in ponds instead of in lakes. Look at that pretty bass. Let's see if I can get one more. One more bass here. There we go. Oh, another good bass. I caught 3 or 4 bass. I think it was 4 real quick. And this one took about 15-20 minutes. Here, buddy. This pond's not real big, so I can fish a good part of the deep water staying in one spot because I've got my 2 video cameras set up on tripods. So I just kept casting, working it real slow, and it paid off. Man, he's hooked really good. There we go. So it's another way to fish these Senko style worms using a Strike King shimmy stick, brown colored worm, drop shot rig, like 3/8 ounce weight. Let me get him back here. This water's real low. It's all muck right here, so I don't want to walk through it. But just another way to catch bass, especially the deeper water bass that, you know, will sit in these ponds, especially middle of the day. You know, it's around noon, and I caught, I think, a limit of bass, 5 nice bass, all in one general area, fishing that deep water. Still finesse type technique. Heavier weight lets you cover some water. Twitch, 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 twitch. Let it sit. Wait for that bite and hammer it.